Well, it's been a great Thanksgiving weekend. I was able to spend a week back with Kande and Skyly in our log house last week and enjoyed walking in the autumn leaves and watching my wife play badminton and just enjoying our country environment in our solar-powered log house. Then on Friday night, I met with the Tokai Japan-Canada Society friends at Midtown Barbecue in Nagoya, and I had a Thanksgiving dinner. That was great. And to see some of my mates and some of my supporters and one of my patrons there. And then on Saturday here at the marina, I was host to the Canadian Chamber of Commerce in Japan, senior leadership and members. And they came on a tour of the boat and a barbecue. I'll get some pictures up later about that. Then yesterday, just a wonderful day on the water and on the dock with my patrons, some of my patrons, Claude, David LaHeist, and Nemanja. They're great supporters, monthly patrons as well as crew. Also my great mate, David Enright from Evergreen Outdoor Center in Houck. He came out in the boat and he brought a bottle of champagne to toast my dream. I was a skipper, so I didn't drink, I assure you, but they enjoyed it. Also, skipper to be Madoka was along, and my sensei Rick, and so it was all in all a great day. But what's at the top of my mind is my readiness tracks, and particularly readiness track number 2, which is me. And I've heard Wahine speaking to me, and she has said something to me. And it's bringing focus. So thanks for watching. Enjoy episode 17, some snapshots of the last few days over this Thanksgiving weekend, and an introduction to a new sponsor. They're my fitness sponsor. So enjoy episode 17. And if you haven't subscribed, press subscribe now and the notification button. It helps me. Thanks. Hi, I'm Lowell Sheppard, onboard sailing vessel Wahine at Gypsy 402, and this is Pacific Solo. Pacific Solo is the greatest challenge of my life. We are preparing to sail solo across the North Pacific through the Pacific Garbage Patch. And then at a place I've called Nemo North, which is simply a set of coordinates, which is the place in the North Pacific furthest from land in any direction, we're going to turn the bow of Wahine northwards to go to Canada and be reunited with my mother, who's in her 90s and is isolated in a Canadian care facility. And I want to take you on this voyage with us via this YouTube channel. So join us on this Pacific Solo expedition. Good morning, everybody. Well, I don't know about you, but my boat speaks to me. And a few days ago, I asked of my boat, are you safe enough for me to cross the Pacific in you? And I've sensed her speaking to me since back and asking the question, are you fit enough to sail me across the Pacific? You know, the first time I thought about a boat speaking to you was I was in Phuket. I was searching for a boat. I was with my good friend Gary there, and he lined up a number of boats to look at. And he said a couple of things to me, very helpful. And he said, you know, there's no perfect boat, and every boat you see, you're going to see things you like about it, that you don't like about it, and you'll want the boat that's a composite of everything that you like about the various parts of the boat. But he said, what you'll find is when you get to the boat that's yours, the boat will speak to you. And it made sense to me because that's how it was with my dog, Skyly. Searching for a dog and tried to adopt from shelters, and we didn't meet the regulations for some strange reason, and despite trying. And then in our local neighborhood, came across this puppy, a border collie. And she looked at me and she spoke to me and said, take me home. And I did. So I kind of thought, well, I know it's very subjective. Maybe the same thing is with the boat. And Wahine was a late arrival onto my short list. I was now down to 3 boats, one in Phuket, one in Fukuoka, and one in Philippines that were all met my criteria, or some of the criteria. And then a late arrival I was told about Wahine, and I'd actually walked by her on the dock here a couple of times, and I remember always feeling good on that dock. And when I came and looked at Wahine in the evening, didn't even come on board, she kind of spoke to me. Now, I tell you all that to say this, that last year when I had several months of problems with Wahine and could not sail, I lived on her part-time, but I was not able to sail, and I was getting frustrated, and then the propeller fell off, and that took a couple months to sort out. And I was telling Claude, my first mate, and he's now a boat owner and has his own nearby, and I was telling him this story about Wahine speaking to me, and he paused and he said to me, "And she's speaking to you now." I kind of thought, oh, okay, what's she saying? She's saying to you, "Can I trust you?" Well, Wahine is saying the same thing to me now. And so it is one of my readiness tracks. I have 4 tracks of readiness. I have to get Wahine ready, and there's all those upgrades. I have to get me ready physically and mentally, and I'll come back to that. I have to be ready with all the sponsorship, and that's beginning to gain traction. And I'm announcing one of my sponsors today here on this video. And fourthly, the education component as I'm connecting with schools, and that's underway. But let me talk to you about track number 2 of my readiness. And readiness track number 2 is about me, physically and mentally. And the question I'm trying to answer for myself and answer Wahine and all of those who care about me. And I do have many people concerned about this trip. I understand that. I appreciate all the constructive criticism and comments and encouragements. Some of the advice is conflicting, so I have to find my own way through here because it's going to be me in the boat sailing across, and so I don't want to be in a position to blame anybody else but me for mistakes. There are some naysayers. There's some people telling me don't go, and in fact, just as a side, my good friend David LaHeist, who's a crew member of Wahine, has helped me do so many things. He was on board yesterday. He gave me a new jacket as a gift, which is a beautiful jacket. And here, I'll get it for you. One moment. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to one of my patrons, David LaHeist, who always delights me when he comes, and he's helped me so much. He's been part of some notorious moments here on Wahine. But yesterday he brought me this gift. It actually, he's worn it, it's used, but it's his Mustang survival jacket, made in Canada, and it's good for winter sailing. And it's basically a life vest, Coast Guard approved, and it's really warm. Isn't that great? He also brought along his, and left it for me to use, a 6-meter long selfie stick. It's basically a carbon fishing rod that he's adapted. He's got a monitor here, Sony camera that goes on top, and he's letting me use it. So hey, David, and all my patrons, thank you for all the support that you give. And if you want to become a patron, just click on the link below. It really does help me, and kind of, in some ways, creates an inner circle of confidence for me, who I can share things with. And I'm moved and touched that people are helping me in this way. Thanks, David. Oh, and David also gave me the name for a book. Yeah, he said to me, he said, if you fail at this, you just write another book called It Was Too Late. That gave me a good giggle. And you never know, maybe that book will be written. And to say that to another Canadian friend, he says, no, call it Way Too Late. Well, maybe it is way too late, but I don't believe that. I'm going to try. And therefore, I want to be able to set myself at ease by having KPIs for all of these readiness tracks and for my physical fitness. So for my me track, which is physical and mental, I'll just focus on the physical this time around, but I'm looking at body fat, BMI, weight and strength, as well as my agility on the boat. There's some specific health issues of deep vein thrombosis, which I take medicine for. I have a severe allergy to bee stings. That shouldn't be a problem out there, although I'm told toxins in jellyfish can have a similar effect upon me. So I am so pleased to announce that I now have a fitness sponsor, a UFC gym in yoga here in Tokyo. I've been going for a couple months now, every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. with a group of other mates, where we're taking on a kickboxing workout, which is a great cardio, balance, and although I don't plan on throwing any punches or kicks, it helps me balance and understand that strength comes from the foot. And I've learned something about my leg muscle group I didn't know before. So here I am going to my first assessment at yoga station, UFC gym, with coach extraordinaire, Daryl, who explains something about my feet and gives me an exercise to try. So let's go to the UFC gym and check them out. So I'm off today for something special, a sponsor who is sponsoring my fitness, and they're going to help me lose some weight, build some muscle mass, help me become more agile on my feet. And today I'm going for the assessment, so let's go. Okay, nearly there. So today is the day where I'm having them do an assessment. I'm not sure all the areas will cover. I've actually been working out here now for, I think, 5 or 6 weeks in a Titans class, 6 a.m. every Wednesday morning. Kickboxing, trying to improve agility and lose some weight. And now this gym, which is the UFC gym here in Tokyo, owned by BetterU, have decided to be my official fitness sponsor. So in addition to a generous investment in Pacific Solo, sponsorship money, they're also providing me my training to prepare me. So we're now going to look at what the key performance indicators will be. So here we go. UFC gym. Here we go. Strength, determination, dedication, relentless, focus, discipline, strength, honor, integrity. That's what we're trying to do. So I'm going to get my mask on. There's a workout going on in there. Hello, how are you?
Fine.
Good. I'm here to see Daryl, and you're on camera.
Good morning.
My fitness assessment day. Okay. All right. 36.3. Number 9. Get this stuff off. That's great. Tell these folks what you're telling me, Daryl.
So basically, hi everybody out there, Daryl Harris. I'm the head trainer, master trainer out here at the UFC gym. longtime friend of Lowell, so I know Lowell for many years and really helping and looking forward to supporting his voyage. So one of the troubles and concerns that he's going to have is going to be all alone. So all alone on a vessel for a couple months means that he has to be self-supported. So making sure that the body is, number one, always able to support its own body weight. He's always able to push and pull no matter what happens. Worst case scenario, he trips and falls. He's got to be able to have enough muscle strength to be able to support himself. And then we're going to build a lot of awareness. Because he's going to be on an unsteady surface, aka the ocean, we're going to do a lot of balance and coordination training, making sure his core is nice and tight, but he's also aware of his balance and mobility. So as we work on strengthening the core, we'll slowly work out to the outer appendages, making sure that he's able to stand on one leg, balance on one leg, and so that his mind and body connection and neuromuscular connection is nice and tight and efficient and ready for him to handle that voyage. And also, speaking of efficiency, because he is going to be going on that 4-hour, maybe 8 or 12-hour shift and then a 4-hour rest, he's got to make sure he's get the deep sleep so that the body can relax and also build muscle, and in the times that he does have the rough voyages, that he's able to repair the necessary muscles and the brain can actually relax so that he can think straight and survive.
That's cool. And you'll help me lose some weight as well?
Just a little bit. So I'm a little concerned about the weight. We'll check his body weight and such, but you know, he is going to have proper nutrients. He's going to have good food on the vessel. So I'm not so much worried about his weight per se. It's just how his body handles the weight. So we're going to be working a lot of the inner muscles, not the exterior aesthetic muscles is really what's going to be supporting him, and doing a lot of myofascia work to make sure that his tendons as well as his myofascia are working to support his body so he's got excellent movement. Very similar to what pro athletes do in terms of performance, because Lowell's all going to be about performance right now because he's by himself. So any move that he makes is a critical move towards his health, towards his life. So that performance-oriented training is really going to be important, that his body moves at the most efficient manner for the most maximal output.
Great, looking forward to it. UFC Gym, my official fitness sponsor. Let's go. Hey,
right, let's do this, brother.
Just finished my assessment, and nothing like I expected it to be, and fantastic. I was so impressed with the advice I was given and where they saw my weakness, because it's all about having agility and balance on the boat, and it all starts with my feet. I've got this ball to practice recalibrating the way my muscles work. It's partly re-engineering too, because he said that my ankle and muscle system in the legs all the way up to the hips are finely honed for bicycle riding, which I'm a bicyclist and I worked a long time to develop my form for bicycling, but not good for boats because I need more ankle rotation and movement. So I've got things to work on. So thank you, UFC Gym. This is going to help me.
I'm also have to prepare myself mentally, and there's the psychological aspect of that to ensure I have the mental fortitude, but mental is also learning. So there's so many things I'm continuing to learn about sailing, which, to be frank, and I know I'm going to be criticized for this by sailors much more experienced than me, but I have been sailing since I was in my early teens. Dinghies, lasers, 26-footers, once a 40-footer, with a skipper in the Mediterranean. And I have an intuition about the wind, a relationship with the wind and its behavior on sails. So I'm not worried about that one, although I am learning as much as I can. But I do have to learn a whole lot more about weather and meteorology, and I have a growing sensitivity to the micro environment. I have to learn more about navigation and not just rely on GPS, but I am going to learn celestial navigation to some measure Of course, there's fiberglass repairs, diesel engines. I know some are concerned that this guy's mechanically inept. What in the world is he going to do in the Pacific if the engine breaks down? Well, I will sail, but I need to make sure I have power backups regarding solar, etc. There's the plumbing, there's the electrics, etc. And for the more psychological, there is the endurance factor, which I love endurance sports. And I believe that that's one muscle that gets stronger with age. The endurance muscle, the mental muscle. But it will be a challenge. Then there's dealing with crises and having the acuity and the clarity to make split-second decisions in times of crisis. There's dealing with solitude, because I'm not naturally a solo person. There's also fear. Fear to me has never been something to be frightened of, but to welcome, because a fear to me is not an obstacle, it's a doorway to walk through. And these may be just brain games I play with myself, but they're important games for me. So all in all, I want to assure myself, assure my friends and family, assure you who subscribe to my channel, which I'm very grateful, and assure Wahine I'm doing my darndest to be sure I'm fit to take this boat safely across the Pacific. And I want to be 80% ready in all my tracks by January, 100% ready by May. In 6 months' time, I leave this harbor to position myself on the Pacific coast to watch for the weather window when I can leave. So thank you, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please share. It all means a lot to me. It's solo, but I need you along with me, and you hold me to account. So bye. Have a great day, everybody.
Please like, please share, and please say comments below. Also, you can check out the Pacific Solo store. There's now some products online. All that helps support the educational projects that Pacific Solo is trying to create to help students learn awareness of the oceans. So thumbs up, like, share. Take care, everybody.